What's going on, guys? I'm here with Jrod is awesome as usual for this week's edition of Around the CHL. It's where we're going to discuss topics from the CHL and help set the tone for the upcoming week's CHL action. If you're watching here on League Gaming in the forums, don't forget to head over to the League Gaming YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the excitement, not just from the CHL, but the AHL and NHL as well. You guys know me, Powdah P, right D for the Spokane Chiefs, and I'm here with my defensive partner and co-host, Jrod is awesome. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, how's your weekend going so far?
So far, it's been crap.
All right. Yeah, well, first of all, I know we had a little bit of a hiccup this morning when we were supposed to do our little get-together. Please explain to me, or explain to our viewers, what you shouldn't do with a diesel truck.
You shouldn't do with when you're delivering gas to any gas station, put diesel into the regular gas fill.
And if that happens, what happens to their supervisor?
He gets very upset.
All right. Yeah, so he basically had to go deal with some work issues, which usually isn't a problem on Sunday. He just missed a little bit of church. We got the World Cup game going on. We got a 1-1 tie, USA and Portugal. So we'll check back up with that in just a little bit of the week, a little bit later in the show. We're going to start off with Stars of the Week. Basically, these are the players that aren't necessarily the number one elite player according to the League Gaming stat site. However, these are the people that we feel have provided a huge contribution to their team and maybe not get the same recognition that they deserve, even though they are playing solid games. So, Jrod, go ahead with your first Stars of the night.
Stars of the night. Let's see. I'll go with Fruit Smoothie from the Moose Jaw Warriors.
What do you got for me with him?
He went 3-0 last week. He beat the Broncos. He beat Everett, and he beat the Blades. Yeah, he had 2 goals and 8 assists for the week. And he played center. He did play one game at defense. That's where he got his 2 goals from. But when he's at center, he seems to be able to set up the play for the rest of his players.
And who'd you say his wins were against?
The Broncos, Swift Current.
Okay.
Everett Silvertips, and the Blades.
Which is cool because that was funny is we don't discuss, we let each other know who our players are, but we don't really go into detail as to why. But the funny thing about that is my first player from the WHL as well is also from the Moose Jaw Warriors, and that's the G-Bro duo. He's got 23 points so far this season with 9 goals, 14 assists, and he was also in all those home games against Swift Current, Everett, and Saskatoon, all at home. So I'm not sure if that line is not good at traveling or if the home fans just really love him or whatever it is. But these guys have been on fire at home. Huge win against the Blades, huge win against the Broncos, and especially my former team, the Everett Silvertips. All right, moving on over to the Q. Who's your star of the week from the QM?
Slanderous Clown, center for the Drummondville Voltigeurs.
All right, what's he done for us this week?
Let's see, he's got 4 goals and 9 assists on the week. He's 3-0. He beat the Huskies, Sherbrooke, I think, Phoenix, and Drakkar.
All right, for me, I got a guy that lost to one of those games, and that was IVI Chuck Norris, Sherbrooke, Phoenix. He's a random assignment, so like this guy's an unknown. And this is what excites me about him is, he's 4-0 on the season, only played 1 game in week 1. He's got 16 points with 9 goals, 7 assists, and 15 shots. If you do the math on that, he's shooting 60%. That's a scary number for anybody that has to go up and play defense against him or things like that. He's just one of those guys that when he has the puck, things could get ugly. He had wins against the Islanders, the Screaming Eagles, and the Oceanic. Solid wins, and you really can't knock a guy that's shooting 60%. So congratulations to our Stars of the Week. Nothing official, but you guys made an impact on our lives, and obviously you've made an appearance on this show now. When we talk about Stars of the Week, we obviously have the duds, our contract duds of the week. We're going to start off with mine. It's first is Ice Wolf 420. He's right winger. Oh man, I just deleted his team, so I apologize to that. So I've screwed up already tonight. But he's a $3 million player, and went 1-5 with 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists, with a -7. His only saving grace whatsoever this season is he's had to play Kamloops twice. We all know Kamloops is Kamloops, and they are by far the dominant team in the CHL, so having to play them twice, you got to give them a little bit of slack. What about you?
Let's see. We'll start off with Siv Zell for the Kootenay Ice. He went. Let's see, he had 1 win last week with 2 losses, 1 in overtime, a -5 with 1 assist total for the week. You know, he's a left defenseman. He's got a -9 on the season. You can't get it done that way.
No, never. Those plus minuses could really be detrimental to a lot of people. For me, it's the left D man XBS Mr. T XBS. He is a left D man for. Bear with me 1 second here, so I can make sure I have it accurately, because I've screwed up twice now. He plays for the Shawnigan Cataracts. In case you guys were wondering, the people that are having issues with their bidding over the course of a season or during the bidding process, I will explain to you. This is what 4.25 mil will get you. Get you a 1-4-1 record with 5 points, 1 goal, and 4 assists. But as a left D-man, the points aren't what scares me, but that -10. He last week took losses to the Sea Dogs, the Chicoutimi, and the Drakkar, which both teams have been featured in QMJ's Matchup of the Week, which was posted earlier this weekend. And the only saving grace for XBS, Mr. T XBS, is his shutout win against Moncton Wildcats in Week 1. He had 2 points in that game and shut them down, and the team won 3-0. So that's obviously always a thing. And then your contract dud from the Q.
It'd be RPG 1022 left D for the Olympiques. He did go 1 and 2 last week, but you know he had a plus-minus of 0 and 1 assist, and that was all.
Yeah, those numbers are never good, but you guys still have plenty of time in the season, so don't sweat it. Next thing we kind of want to talk about is it's kind of like my little pet peeve is league violations. Whether these rules are broken based off of what it's read in the Constitution, things you understand that like the GMs know about and stuff like that. What I want to let everybody know is the league does not hunt out these violations. There's Crazy Ron isn't sitting around. Boychuk, the Players Association president, isn't sitting around, monitoring every action by every team. What they're doing is they're responding to complaints by the league. So if you see a complaint, say something. Don't just let it sit back and assume somebody else is going to get in there and do everything that you want them to do and then expect people to just not get away with stuff. You have to make these complaints. If you see something wrong that's against the rules, or if you think something's out of line, just go ahead and use the action center and place an actual complaint. You always see it in the threads where people are complaining about who did what, and it's like, well, if you didn't say anything about it, you're just as wrong for not saying something. I myself, I've seen them all the time. I report as many of them as I can, and as quickly as I can. Just a quick update: USA just scored again. My dad's out in the other room celebrating. We're only soccer fans once every 4 years, but it is good to get behind the country. So for all your Canada fans, hopefully you guys can pull together a national team and get into the World Cup next time. All right, Jrod, any thoughts on league violations?
Yeah, I wish it was easier to find than everybody else actually. What am I saying? I wish it was easier to find by everybody. Some people don't care, some people do. But I wish it was more. Wish there was more people like you that's out there looking for it and reporting it. It's better to have a clean league and everybody be on the same playing field than for a couple teams to get away with whatever they want.
Yeah, it sucks that people are going to try to cheat, but the old expression is if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough. Well, I don't believe in that, at least not in a sense of a video game, hockey league. I feel that we need to be all kind of trying to uphold our thing. If you were on my team last year, you know me. even in the games this year, I've yelled at Jrod. I was like, dude, you got to get the puck up. That looks like it's almost ragging it. And he wasn't ragging it, but I still said something to him because I don't want people to accuse us of being the assholes, the cheaters, and the people that, just do whatever they want to gain advantage. So if you see a violation, don't just go post a thread about it. Go to your management and let them know that you see something or something just doesn't seem right. The league does a fairly good job at getting to these violations. However, they can only do as much as you guys provide them with. So that's it. That's it for league violations. I won't get too far into that anymore. Now we're going to get into trades of the week. Not just trades, but whether we think how both teams will fare with these trades, how the outcome. First of all, let me just say, lots of trades going on. I don't know if you guys are scared or you're already freaking out about the playoffs. I know when you're in a hole, drastic moves are necessary, but some of these teams are just trading players left and right. TCs, 3-for-1s, 4-for-1s, 5-for-1s, crazy deals. Some of them are justifiable because they're trying to make room with the cap. However, some of these trades, I'm just like going crazy. So we both picked a trade that we felt was going to have an impact on the league one way or the other. And I'll let Jrod start. What's your first trade there, Jrod?
The trade I picked here is Red Deer and Moose Jaw traded.
Okay.
Red Deer gave up Gun Woat. Moose Jaw gave up Mantha 8. The only reason I picked it is because Mantha 8's Av is all decked out in Red Wings gear. I'm assuming he's an Alex Mantha fan, who's a minor league Red Wings player. I don't know what this trade was about. Mantha played 0 games so far this season, done nothing. Gunwoat's got 16 points, 4-2 on the season, 9 goals, 7 assists with a +5 as a forward. Not sure what's going on, why they picked what they picked. I don't know who got one over on somebody.
All right, so what we're saying is, in this case, who's your clear trade winner?
Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw wins that one, and the loser?
Red Deer.
Red Deer. All right. With my trade, I got the Ninja in a Box traded for Blonde Man 22. This trade was between the Kelowna Rockets and the Katy Bathurst Titan. GMs are Hamilton for the Titan and the Kelowna Rockets sleeveless. Ninja in a Box, he played right wing for Kelowna. He went 5-0 with 8 goals and 5 assists with a +6 and shooting 47.1%. This is a guy that I really think is going to thrive in the QMJ. A lot less talent. He's playing on a much stronger team, a more dominant team in a weaker conference or a weaker league, I should say. And then in Blonde Man 22, he was a center for the Titan. He went 3-3 so far, 16 points, 2 goals and 14 assists. So he's a crazy good playmaker. But his plus minus is even, so he's not making enough of those plays in order to set himself apart from the competition. So for me, and Blonde Man 22's got his first start tonight against the Prince George Cougars. I was able to catch the lineups being posted before we went live. And the winner in this trade has got to be Hamilton, X27 with the Titan, and the Kelowna Rockets GM sleeveless. You are this week's trade loser. Sorry, man. It's nothing personal. I just feel that you got a guy that's going to have a lot harder time in the WHL, even though he has all those points in the queue. Yeah. So let's just move on. Let me just give out a quick shout out to all the other media stuff going on here at LG. You guys are obviously watching around the CHL. This is episode 3. You can catch it every Sunday night at 7:30. We also have LGCHL Mail Time, which airs Thursday nights. It's a call-in show. You guys, basically, I've set up a Google Voice number. It's 774-260-5411. You guys call in. It goes right to a voicemail. You don't have to talk to me. There's no phone sex operators. None of that nonsense. And you guys call. Your questions are heard. Play them live. We do all that cool stuff, and then we discuss it. I'm looking to bring a guest on this week, so if you're interested in doing that, I would love someone, especially someone from the queue, just to get them in there and kind of deal with these questions with me. It'd be a different little spin on last week's. Don't forget you have Twitter where you can hit me at @Powdah_P, and I'll also answer those questions as well. We also have on Tuesday nights LG Snapshot. It's a league-wide show featuring Sev09, Eric E30, and myself, hosted by F5 Penguin. The show can be seen Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. We discuss topics from AHL, NHL, CHL, all the leagues, kind of a little bit of everything. As far as print media goes, we currently have the power rankings, which we've been producing. I have a staff of 7. Welcome, Breck Easy. You are now back on the power rankings crew. Calm down, Jrod. Look at this face. Look at this face that he made when I said Breck Easy's name. This sounds like we have a heated rivalry. I think he might be just sore because he got booted out of Kamloops in order to make room for Breck Easy. Now, for real, though, we have the power rankings. These are let me just speak about those real quick. These power rankings aren't anything official. We're not saying we think you suck or anything like that. What we're saying is we're comparing teams within the same division by the same writer. So if I write for the WHL East, the Central Division, I compare all those teams. Every writer has their own division, and they compare them. So don't sit here and say, well, why is Kamloops and the Titans so far off? Because they're written by 2 separate people. Don't freak out about it. This doesn't change the way the league plays. Doesn't change the way you play games. None of that stuff. Another new feature we brought in this week. It's the WHL and QMJ Games of the Week. That's how we break down some of the most intriguing matchups for the upcoming week. And obviously, you guys, have seen that. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Those matchups aren't going to be necessarily the 2 best teams playing. You know what? As much as I love to cover Kamloops, I love to cover the Saskatoon Blades and the Swift Current Bronco, I can't cover you guys all the time. Trying to get everybody in the league involved, not just the people that are successful, because this league thrives on solid members, from the TC guy on the worst team in the league to the GM of the best teams in the league. Everybody needs to be involved, not just the Kamloops Blazers. So stop freaking out about that, and everything will be all right. All right, we're going to go into our little World Cup update. Jrod, you a soccer fan at all?
No, not even every 4 years.
No, yeah, I played all through high school, and in the military I played a little bit. But World Cup is awesome because it's like Olympic hockey. Everybody's rooting for one thing. Obviously, we have Canadian fans here too, so we get a little bit of a rivalry between Canada and the U.S. It's even sparked off, some cool spin-off 6v6 tournaments. But I think it was the Can-Am. They did it in the during last season, or at the beginning of last season, and that was a lot of fun. I didn't play myself, but from what I saw, there was tons of action, lots of excitement. I couldn't tell you who won because I didn't follow it as closely as I should have. But with the World Cup, it's once every 4 years. And this is the only sport in the world where we are a true underdog as the United States. It's really exciting to watch in my eyes because I have played the game. I understand it probably more than I understand hockey, but it's really exciting. I mean, right now the U.S. is up 2-1, and there's about 4 minutes of stoppage time remaining. We win here, and we are moving on to the elimination phase. And this is huge. Like this, we weren't expected to win a single game here in Brazil. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited. We got the big game coming up against Germany at noon on Thursday. So check that out. All right, back to the CHL. Let's see. We're gonna go to playoff races. The playoff races right now, yeah, it's still early, but it's always fun to kind of see where everybody's standing. So I'm gonna pull these up for you guys. And you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Usually the playoff format is the QMJ winner, the WHL winner, and the OHL winner. However, we don't have an OHL this season, so I'm not sure if it's going to be the WHL West, the WHL East, the Q, and the host team, or how they're going to do it. Nothing has been spoken of it yet. However, right now, we'll start in the QMJ. We've got Hamilton's Titans. They're absolutely out in front right now. They've only lost 4 games, haven't even lost in overtime. So if you can hang with the Titan, you got a good shot at making a run at the QMJ title. Other teams there, the Jakar and the Voltigeurs. I don't know why the Screaming Eagles. I guess because they're not a division leader, so they were in the 4th spot. And then down at the bottom, we got the Islanders and the Remparts. If you're the Remparts, you might want to start worrying. If you're the Islanders, you're only 5 points back. That's two wins and an overtime loss, and you guys are right back in the playoffs. So don't get your hopes down. It's a long season, and we're only one quarter of the way through. In the WHL, it's pretty much in the West. It's a one-team race. It's the Blazers trying not to screw up. They haven't lost yet in regulation. They've taken one OT loss. I believe it was to the Brandon Wheat Kings, but
No, Tri-City.
Tri-City, thank you. So Tri-City, the second place team, who's 11-4-1, 23 points. They're right there. They're ready to go. And then you got in the third place, you got the Spokane Chiefs, followed by the Silvertips, Kelowna Rockets, the Prince George Cougars, the Thunderbirds, and the Winterhawks. And then to round out the bottom end is the Royals and the Giants. Now, if you're the Royals and the Giants, things aren't looking too great right now, but you guys are still only 3 points at most back from a playoff spot. All it takes is a win and an OT loss, and you guys are in. In the WHL East, we have the Saskatoon Blades and the Rebels basically tearing it up, leading their respective divisions. The Moose Jaw Warriors are right there with 26 points. If they can surpass the Saskatoon Blades, they can get that home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. You got the Medicine Hat Tigers, Lethbridge Hurricanes, the Swift Current Broncos, Brandon Wheat Kings, and the Calgary Hitmen, all in playoff contention right now. Everybody else, besides the Kootenay Ice, have still right there. There's nobody that's really out of the picture right yet. Kootenay Ice, best of luck to you guys. I mean, you guys are down by a solid 9 points. However, it's not over yet. We've still got a long way to go. Hopefully, you guys can turn the corner and start building on some success. Jrod, any thoughts on the playoff race right now?
As you said, like the West, WHL West is, it's the Blazers to lose. The East, I think Moose Jaw is going to make a move and overtake that first spot.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I worry about is that you do have to beat the Saskatoon Blades, and from what it looks like is they're beefing up to try to stay on top. Early in the season, or I think in the first episode, I think I made a prediction of I said the Titan and the Blazers would be playing for the Memorial Cup. I stand by that prediction, and still so far, they're the top two teams all the way across the board. The two best records, we got the Blazers at 17-0-1 and the Acadie Bathurst Titan at 14-4, which brings me to my next point. If you guys don't know, I've had a lot of trouble trying to say some of these names, so it's kind of comical on some levels, but I never know if I'm saying them right, if I'm saying them wrong, or whatever it may have you. So, but Casmo77, it's a GM of Kamloops. See, Kamloops, you guys are getting your shout-outs left and right tonight. He was able to provide me with a little bit of insight as to what all these teams are and how they're all said. Bad news for everybody. The Portugal national team just tied it up with not much time left, so it looks like we're going to pull a draw, the 2-2 draw for the U.S., which is still a very big success for the U.S. So, all right, the Forers, the Valdor Forers, he's giving me these pronunciations too. Forer is a digger, therefore the Forers mean gold diggers. So we get a bunch of gold diggers over there in the Valdor Forers. The Remparts, the Rempart is a levee or a protective wall around a fort or castle. Quebec is known as the only walled city in North America, north of Mexico. The Drakkar, or Drakkar, I guess that's how you say it. They're the Viking ships. It's a Scandinavian word, so a little fun fact for you. The Saguenay Hen, I guess is the way you pronounce it. The Saguenines is what I've been calling them. It's reference to the river, and it's the inhabitants of the Saguenay region. Also thrown in there, it's a fairly nice place to visit. The Cataracts, which they look like the Indians. This is from memory, he says. He says, my memory serves me right. It's not related to cataracts in your eye, but the cataract mean an important waterfall on a river. Not 100% sure, but he thinks the cataracts are near Shawinigan. I'm pretty sure he's right because that's where they're from. Then they get the Voltigeurs. It's a translation to light infantrymen, so obviously they're ready for the fight. And then probably the worst nickname to have would be the Dravers, which translates to raftmen. So, good luck to the raftmen out there because I don't think I could play a full season being known as a raftman. All right, I hope I was able to humor you a little bit with those names and a little bit of where they come from. I know it's not the most exciting history lesson you guys have had, but it's pretty much all the time we have for this week. Don't forget to hit up all the other media that's going on in the league. Lots of fun going on. Jrod, any final words before you go?
No, if you don't like being called a dud, make a difference this week, and we'll give you a shout out next week for being better.
Yeah, maybe that's something we'll imply. We'll kind of keep track of our duds and see if they've improved on their performance. Hopefully things get better for those guys, and if not, it is what it is. So that's it for Around the CHL. If you are on my line for tonight's game, let's get on. Let's get some practice going. We got a big game against Everett tonight. I'm predicting 7-3 win. Any predictions there, J-Rod?
I'll go 9-1.
9-1. All right. So we are winning this game according to the defenseman. That could come back to bite us in the ass. I hope it doesn't, but you never know. That's all for this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you guys next week, 7:30 every week around the CHL. Peace.